Hi, welcome to Proven Cures. This is your host, Sarah McLeod, and today is my day 8 diary entry of my personal clinical trial protocol of the uses of Mutamba and Ping Feng for the treatment of COVID-19 infection. So in this diary entry, what I'm going to spend the time to do is explain the differences I've experienced between taking Mutamba and taking the Ping Feng. So I know that in the other diary entries, I would mention what I was going through, but the list was never comprehensive. And part of the reason why the list was not comprehensive was because I was suffering, I hate to use the word decay or deterioration, but that is exactly what was going on. There was some mental deterioration going on that I feel has been cleared by my taking the Ping Feng. So let me start. These are the benefits and the side effects that I experienced after 4 doses of the Mutamba, okay? The first is excessive thirst. I had to drink a lot of water with the Mutamba, or else I would just dry up. My mouth would just dry up. I experienced total fever abatement, meaning the fever stopped after 4 doses. Had I not relapsed with the addition of refined sugar to my diet, the fevers would have been completely abated. I actually had to increase, I think it was my day 5 entry, my day 5 diary entry, where I explained what I had to do, that I had to drink a gallon of water to clear my system, and for 2 of the doses I increased it to 1 teaspoon as opposed to half a teaspoon. That was with the Mutamba. I experienced insomnia, difficulty sleeping while taking the Mutamba. I would be sleeping 3 to 5 hours at night and then find myself sleepy in the middle of the day, like around 4 or 5 p.m. Okay, I experienced short-term memory loss. I experienced difficulty processing my thoughts to speech. So I would be thinking one thing, but I wasn't able to articulate it properly. I was noticing that I would have hours of fatigue followed by bursts of energy. I had the smell of blood on my breath, and I was checking my stool and my urine to see if there was any blood, but I didn't see any. So I don't know where that smell was coming from. Okay. I had visual disturbances. I was getting black floaters, so I would just look off to the side, or I would just see black spots all the time. I was experiencing deep muscle pain in my thighs. I had a very light appetite. I had to force myself to eat small meals, and I predominantly just wanted to drink. So I did experience a 5-pound weight loss as a result. So that's the total of it. Now, am I attributing the negative side effects to the Mutamba? No, I'm attributing those things to the virus. But the Mutamba was not powerful enough to attack those symptoms. This diary is important because what the medical community in New York City have been charting is the progress of people who have been hospitalized. Most of us, who they deem as having mild symptoms, and that's a broad term because they're saying your symptoms are mild if you're not required to be hospitalized. So that can be interpreted very relatively, very subjectively. That being said, those of us who are at home dealing with the virus, different profiles of people, different weight classes of people. I am overweight, different health backgrounds. We are not being charted. We are not being followed. Our progress is not being followed. It's just sort of, they're telling you take Tylenol and stay in the house. If you go to see a doctor, if you go to see a physician, you are risking transferring the virus to someone else. Also, getting a test has been exceptionally difficult. They March 22nd, the doctors were told not to take appointments for tests because there was a shortage of tests. We were to call the Department of Health. I called the Department of Health and never got a call back. So I've never been tested, but I have all of the symptoms. There are profiles online, there are apps with all the symptoms, and you check off, do you have them or not? I've had all of them except, I would say, the headache and the pain in the throat. And I attribute that to the fact that I was taking my own herbal medications as soon as I got sick, which was last Sunday. I was taking several things, and they're in previous videos, which I'll include the links to here if you want to watch those. My day 1 diary entry, day 3, day 5, and so on. The reason why I started with the Mutamba was because I did suffer a scary respiratory arrest attack where I could not breathe, and the only thing I could think of at the time, in order to avoid going to the hospital into crowded, scary situations where there was a shortage of ventilators and people were actually dying in the hospitals here in New York City in great numbers. There have been 18-wheeler trucks being filled up with body bags. That is the kind of carnage that's been going on here. So going to the hospital doesn't feel like a good option, especially if you can't get your breath. It's very scary. It doesn't feel like, oh, I can stay here and I can wait for an ambulance. No. So I was sitting here and thinking, what can I do for myself? And the only thing that I had in the house at the time was the Mutamba. I did not have the Ping Feng. I ordered it, but it hadn't come yet. No, it had come, but I wasn't feeling well enough to go to the post office to pick it up because that's where I get my mail. Well, after going now and getting the Ping Feng, I've had a clearing of a lot of these same symptoms that I'm going to share with you after 4 doses. So I made my recordings after taking 4 doses. I didn't want to do a premature video because I think that's a bit foolish. So the dosing with the Ping Feng is different. I followed the instructions on the box, or is it on the bottle? The last video I showed you what the box looked like. I'm going to show you again. Well, that's Chinese writing. This is the English. I want it to focus. But the recommendation is to take 4 of the pills with warm water twice per day. And here on the back of the box, you can see exactly in English what's in here. When I first discovered the study on the Ping Feng, the publication, all of the ingredients were in Chinese except for the astragalus. So I couldn't, it was hard for me to do that video and tell you exactly what was in it. But now that I have this, I know for a fact this is excluding 2 of the ingredients that were in the publication, but I have found this formulation to be exceptionally effective. And I'm going to share with you why I say that. And I've actually decided to stop taking the Mutamba. This has been formulated to fight severe acute respiratory syndrome, and it does so many other things. What I think I might do later on is look up the individual ingredients and tell you all what they're each good for, because they're working in tandem to really restore my health. So this is the real deal. This is the real treatment for this disease right here. In addition, you may have heard that a French study has proven the combination of Plaquenil, the malaria drug, and the generic name for that is hydroxychloroquine, and azithromycin, a Z-Pak, to work together to cure COVID-19. And that is actually true. So my next video, I'm going to share that information too, because this is about information. This is not about picking one over the other. No, this is about you having choices. So now I'm going to tell you what my experience with the Ping Feng has been. And I'm so happy. I'm so pleased. I'm actually able, okay, so no more excessive thirst. I am continuing to drink 4 bottles of water per day. but it's at my voluntary decision, not because my throat is dried out or my mouth is dried up and I feel like, ugh, I have to drink something. I'm getting remarkably this is the first time I'm getting 8 hours of sleep at night since last Sunday, well, that's not true, since I started the Mutamba. When I first got sick, I couldn't stay awake, right? And then I started the Mutamba and it was giving me the energy, but then I couldn't get adequate sleep. Now I'm getting adequate sleep and I feel much calmer. I have noticeable increased energy for my daily living activities. So like a normal healthy person now, I'm getting 8 hours of sleep, and then I'm popping up out of my sleep and I'm able to clean up around the house first before I get started with my work day. Through my work day, I'm able to concentrate fine, read properly. Today I was fully engaged in a meeting for work and I was able to articulate my thoughts with no problem. And I was really worried that it would show and I sound stupid and they don't know that I'm sick. I hope they don't find out I'm sick before I get better because I don't want it to work against me for work. But yeah, I noticed a big difference there. I was able to articulate my thoughts. I don't have that horrible smell of blood on my breath. I remember brushing my teeth a lot, trying to figure out if that's what it was, but it had nothing to do with my oral hygiene because the smell was there before and after. No more black floaters in my vision. My vision is back to normal, thank God. No more muscle pain. I was having severe muscle pain in my legs. None of that anymore. And increased appetite. So my appetite is back to normal, to where I do desire to have 3 meals per day, which is also remarkable. So now I have to watch what I eat so I don't overeat. So yeah, that's my progress. And this is, of course, both of these lists of benefits and symptoms were charted after 4 doses of each herbal concoction. So let me tell you, I am in no way downing Mutamba. Mutamba and Ping Feng are going to act differently. Number one, Mutamba is just one herb, whereas Ping Feng is a combination of herbs. A combination of herbs that were scientifically formulated to work together by Chinese herbalists and have been used now for over 2,000 years. That is what I was sharing in my video about the Chinese government's recommendation for Ping Feng, how old this formulation is, and it has been used over and over and over again for a positive effect on sick populations who have been exposed to airborne pathogens. I said in my last video that I think that if I had the patience for the Mutamba, that it would eventually kill the virus. But this virus is something that runs its course in 3 weeks. It is quite possible that it can suppress the virus until it actually runs its course. But if you're anything like me, I'm like super busy. I have things coming up. Now it's April 2nd. I have major things coming up this month that I need to get done. That if I remain sick, I can't do it. I'll be derailing my progress in my life. I cannot live like that. So I fully recommend the Ping Feng. I am going to stay on it. So this is what the bottle looks like, and they put 60 tablets, which is equivalent to 15 doses, 2 weeks of doses in the one bottle. That is a very measured dosage for illness. That is not like you just buy some random herb and you take it at will. No, this is measured medicine. I'm going to complete the bottle is basically what I want to say. I'm going to complete the bottle, and I'm going to let you know if there are any changes or how I feel towards the end or afterwards or whatever. And you guys always leave me lots of questions and good comments and things like that. That being said, I want to shout out certain people who have been so encouraging to me through this time, this difficult time. My friend Shaylee Rasanya, if she sees this, Stella T, who I shouted out last time, Royalty, thank you for your comments, and your comments are so dope. Thank you. Lanford Elias for giving me the definition of my name in Arabic. I really appreciated that. Oniter Mabuza, you powerful prayer warrior. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bryant Nix, thank you. Prayers up. I can dig the emoji. Thank you. Mad Capper, you keep me on top of my game. You won't even give me time to get back on the camera before you want answers. But thank you for your well wishes. Shamik, thank you. And Jalal Claggett, thank you guys. All right, so so the next video is going to actually be about the French study about the hydroxychloroquine and the Z-Pak. And I'm going to look up the side effects of the hydroxychloroquine, because they were on TV talking about sudden cardiac arrest. Like, whoa, like that's major. So I'm going to look that up and do the next video. If not now, don't hold me to nothing. Maybe later, tomorrow or something. Okay. And like, share, subscribe, and thank you guys. I'm feeling much better, so thanks a lot. Later.